everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Andrea. It's nice to have you guys here. I'm in a slightly different angle because I'm about to flip the camera around and show you inside my bullet journal. So I'm sitting at my desk, or it's technically my dining room table, but it's become my comp exam prep desk. It's been a little while since I did a bullet journal video. I was looking back through my channel and it looks like it was sometime in October. So I'm going to kind of go through what I've done in my bullet journal since then, and then also show you some of the new kind of tools and pens and things like that that I've been using. So if you want to see more from my bullet journal, then stick around. Here's my desk, or the table that I'm using as a desk. As you can see, I've got all of my comp exam stuff, as well as some flowers and a candle, birthday card. Alright, so this is the last page that you saw. This was the last spread that I had, and this is a format that I've pretty much stuck with off and on, as you'll see. This is an example of a weekly spread that was from a week where I had some appointments and events, but most was just a lot of tasks that needed to get done. So rather than doing out a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, so on, I just had all my events, my main priorities for the week, the tasks for the week, and then a space for next week. And then this was supposed to be a water tracker. You can see I didn't keep up with that. And then this was from a symposium, so there's some notes from things like that. This was November. You can see November, I didn't really do much. I voted for all the good that did me. But yeah, I didn't really feel in November that much. And as we approached the holidays, it was just really crazy. I started a page for hashtags to remember. I've just been kind of jotting down. You can see I only have a couple. I need to fill this in more because I do want to use this. I find that when I go to use Instagram, I'm not utilizing hashtags as well as I could. And this was where I started another new tip, which was to take washi tape and flip it around to both sides so that when it's closed, you can see it sticking out a bit more. So you can see I've gone back and done that for the page where my comp exam tracker is, which also my comp exam tracker is a lot more filled out than it probably was the last time I showed you. So I'm down to my last two sources. Yay me for that. So yeah, so I thought that technique was pretty cool because I don't use an index in my bullet journal. And then flipping through, a lot of the daily and weekly stuff is pretty much the same as it's always been. December, I didn't even do a full grid. This was my monthly layout for December. I had a reminder for what my regular appointments were. I had some important deadlines that I needed to remember, tasks and goals for the month, and then I'd intended to have like a list of stuff I needed to do for Christmas and stuff I needed to do to get ready for London. Then I just didn't really use that. Winter break at my university starts, the last day of classes was like December 6th. So I have like the whole month there's no teaching, so no office hours, so it's just an easier month for me. So I didn't feel like drawing out the whole thing. And then also, I didn't even use the daily spreads. I really didn't use my bullet journal that much in December. You can see the last day I used it was the 9th, and then boom, all of a sudden it's January. January, I also stuck to a really simple basic layout, and then was using my daily spreads a lot more. Here we switch back to a weekly spread, and I tried using the weeklies for a little while. So here's the next week, and then we get into February, and then still a weekly spread. So these 2 weeks are almost identical. I've got the columns going straight down, so Monday through the weekend. One thing that I stuck to is I really don't do a separate Saturday, Sunday. So if I do a weekly spread, whether it's across the top like this or all on one page, as you'll see, I stick to 6 boxes because I usually don't do much on Saturdays. Saturdays are pretty much my one day a week to just do nothing. So when it comes to the weekends, I usually just have a general list of things. And then down at the bottom, I had work school tasks and then personal tasks, and that was kind of it. And then the next week, it was the same thing across the top. I got sick this week, so I didn't really do much, but still work tasks, personal tasks. And then we get into February. In February, I started introducing something new, and that was my top 3 goals for the month. Now, this month didn't work out too well because it took me longer to do my portfolio paper than I anticipated, so I didn't pass that or be able to schedule my comp exam until March, and I'm still scheduling my comp exam. Tasks are just general tasks, and then I always have for next month, so anything that's coming up the following month, I can write it there before I draw out my grid for the following month. I always like to have little quotes, especially with everything I'm going through right now, so it always seems impossible until it is done. That's a big one for me right now. And then this was a different weekly layout. So this one I did larger boxes, Monday through Sunday, so Saturday and Sunday are different, and you can see there's kind of a bit of wasted space because I just don't do much on the weekends, so I could have had all of that be in one box and have all of this space for something, but I always have a task list for the week, and then I just had some kind of quotes in between. Nothing worth having comes easy is this one here, and then believe in yourself is here. And then this was my winter favorites video planner, kind of just planning that out. This was my 2016 recap, kind of planning out. And then here's my current YouTube planner. So you're getting a bit of a spoiler here because I'm too lazy to cover it up. I wanted to try out using a Dutch door, which I discovered online on Instagram, and it seemed really interesting. So basically you're just taking one of the pages, folding it in half, and sticking it down with some washi tape, and that gives you this kind of extra piece to play with. And so when it comes to my YouTube planner, again, I have the washi tape on both sides, so when this is closed up in the book, it's really easy to see. I've got my Tuesday videos, the Wednesday vlogs, and then the Friday videos. And what I like about this is with the Dutch door system, I can look at just my Fridays, or I can look at just my Tuesdays. So because all the Tuesday videos are kind of school and lifestyle related, and all the Fridays are kind of beauty related, being able to look at basically 6 weeks of beauty videos in one go is really helpful for me to plan. And by having them on the sticky notes, you can see I often scratch out dates. It's because these get moved around. So right now we're on this week where I'm doing the bullet journal. On Friday there'll be the skincare tag, but this had been moved around. This was going to be here, and then I remembered, oh, my play box will probably be here by next week, so I flipped those around. I will probably do something similar, or maybe this in a conjunction with something else in my next bullet journal, but I've really been liking this so far, and I do like the Dutch door, as you will see, because I use it again. Here I started something related to my PhD work, so this is just a fold out page, and this is what I call the road to ABD, so the road to all but dissertation. I've got this little road map, so to speak, starting with emailing my bib and my bibliography and my portfolio papers, and kind of initiating the exam process. And then we've got, I passed my portfolio, celebrate. As things happen, the box gets crossed off, and I write in ink what it is. So you can see a lot of this is still in pencil, because I don't know when there's going to be a new step or something like that. So like I did add in, I'd forgotten to write take comps. I had prepare for comps and pass comps, but not take comps. So I wanted to add that in. Yeah, so it's just helping me keep track, making notes of like how I want to celebrate things. So when I passed my portfolio, I went to see King Kong, and I bought myself a gift from Swarovski, which I will show you in a little bit. So it's just helping me kind of map that. It's stuck in with washi tape because I'm getting close to the end of this journal, and I will probably switch bullet journals before I actually get to ABD. So the nice thing about this is I can literally unstick this from the journal and stick it down into the new bullet journal. And then on the front here I've got the quote again, it always seems impossible until it is done. Then I've started switching like back and forth, like do I need a full weekly spread? So here's one where it's a weekly kind of to do. So I've got the events of the week, I've got my tasks for the week, and I've got like general notes for next week, but then I go to daily spreads. I did that for a week, as you can see, and then realized I kind of missed having the full layout for the week. So I've kind of come to decide that, at least for right now while I'm doing comps, what we're preparing for all of that, what really helps me is having the full week laid out, so a 2-week spread for the week that lets me do a grid for all 7 days of the week, that lets me plot in when I'm doing stuff, and lets me use my color coding. And then I've started having a kind of monthly calendar for each week with the week highlighted. I've got my task list for the week. I've switched to a new version of this, so I'm gonna jump over that because this didn't end up being that productive or helpful for me. But I also do weekly goals and then a place to put stuff for next week. Here's just a different layout or design I tried for daily spreads. And then sticky note, this was for filming the things, what I got myself for my birthday, so stuff like that are often the sticky notes that I put in here. Here's a different layout, so we had it going kind of this way, and this I broke down things to do and then things to try to do. So this column was everything that had to happen that week, and this column were everything that I wanted to try to do that week. When we got to this week, I go back to the kind of standard 6 boxes with the weekend being its own thing. Still a kind of basic to-do list. I've got these new sticky notes, which I will show you in a minute, that helps me do the monthly grid a lot easier. Goals, a little motivational quote, drop the struggle and approach things with ease. Things to do next week. Daily spread. Again, with the daily spreads as well, by the time I get to the weekend, it's just a long list. I don't even bother separating the weekend out in my daily spreads either. So March, you can see I've used the Dutch door. Again, I really like using the Dutch door on a monthly spread. It lets me have my monthly grid all kind of visual like that. I've got a space to put down things for April, which I probably should start filling that out. Memories, things that have happened. So on March 7th, I passed my portfolio. Woohoo! You can see I've got my color coding again. And then on the other side of the Dutch door, I've got my top 3 goals for the month. So take comp exam, full draft of prospectus. That might be a bit ambitious, but I'm gonna try. And then do my taxes, and then you can do it. I've got this really pretty card that I've stuck in that kind of I felt went really nicely with the color scheme here. And then I've got my tasks for March. So when it comes to my monthly task list, I just kind of dump everything in here. Not all of this is going to happen, but this is just everything I want to try to do for the month. You can see I've done a few. A few of these other things are going to get checked off this week, like doing my taxes and updating my FAFSA. But yeah, it's nice to just kind of dump things in there as they happen. So this list will get added to throughout the month. Anything that's not done this month just gets rolled over to the next one. Now we're getting up closer to the week that we are currently on. So I've got this really pretty magnetic bookmark that I got in the dollar section at Target. So that always marks my weekly spread. I've got my kind of now classic 6 boxes, Monday through Friday, and then the weekend, color coded. So everything I want to try to do on those days. It's flexible, but when I get to that, when I got to Friday in my daily spreads, I could flip back and see what did I want to try to do on Friday, and then I could map my daily spreads from there. For next week, so my next week is already pretty busy. Still got the calendar. Here I've started mapping out kind of similar to how I did my YouTube. I'm trying that with my blogs. I'm not sure I like it for blog planning, but I haven't figured out anything better. Daily, and now we're up to this week. So I'm filming this on Sunday, so tomorrow is Monday the 13th. This week I tried doing the 6 boxes across the top. I've got my 4 next week that will start to get filled out throughout the week, my goals for the week, my calendar, which you can see I've cut off the top. These are the little sticky notes. I got this in the dollar section at Target too. So I cut off the top because this is a Sunday through Saturday. Almost everything I do is Monday through Sunday in terms of how I plan out my bullet journal. So I've now switched the calendar in my phone to Monday through Sunday. The wall calendar that I bought in London is Monday through Sunday, so this is just easier. The priority matrix is the newest thing, and this is something that I absolutely am loving. So what the priority matrix is, for those who aren't familiar with it, it's 4 quadrants. They should be equal, but I don't like giving equal space to the less important quadrants. But basically, across the top axis, you've got importance. Across the side axis, you've got urgency. So this quadrant is things that are urgent and important. These are the things that have to get done this week. This quadrant is things that are important, but slightly less urgent. These are the things that are urgent but not important. So, or in the case of like making a dentist appointment, like that is important and it is kind of urgent, but it's not one of my top priorities. This stuff is my top priority. So if this takes me a few weeks to get to, okay. Technically they say this quadrant, urgent but not important, are things you should delegate. I don't have people to delegate to, but that kind of helps you understand. This quadrant, I try to keep it empty at all times because this is things that are not important and not urgent. Therefore, to quote the Sarah Knight book that I featured in my winter favorites, these are the things I just don't give a flip about. Like, they're just not important. So I found that doing this is really helpful compared to past weeks where I just made a long list. This helps me to know, okay, these are my main priorities for this week, followed by this, and then if I have time in the week, I can work on these. These are the sorts of things that while I'm still working on my comp exam, I'm probably not going to get to this. I need to focus on my comp exam, but it's still important and I still want it to be there and visible in some way. So I'm really liking the priority matrix a lot. And yeah, and then we're up to the daily, which I haven't done my Monday spread yet. Everything else is pretty much the same. I've still got my stickers. I've still got my sticky notes. That hasn't changed. But some of the new tools, so I'm loving these because it really is helpful to have kind of the monthly calendar, but I hate drawing it out. So this is really easy. I got these stickers at Target. These are from that sugar paper company, and I really am liking those. I also found, I bought this ages ago at Paper Chase, but it's just got really pretty labels, so I've started using those. Another thing I wanted to show you guys, because I've gotten a few comments on it on Instagram, is the pen case that I'm currently using. So I got this from the National Gallery in London. I've always got my eye open for random fun things. This is what it is on the inside. It came with its own stuff, like it had its own eraser and its own pencil sharpener, and then it had its own pens and pencils, I think. I've replaced it for all my own. I'm still using the Stabilo pens. I've got two fine Sharpie highlighters. These are the fine tip see-through tips, so compared to these ones, which I prefer these ones because you can actually see when you're running low on ink. It'll start getting little gaps in here, and this will fit in there, but I don't use these in my bullet journal. I only use these for reading. So if I'm taking this to do some reading, I'll throw one of these in. Otherwise, I pretty much just only have the pink and the green. I've got my Lamy, this is a German fountain pen. I love these fountain pens. They are a little messy, or at least they always seem to make a mess with me. I always end up with ink, but I'm old-fashioned and I don't know, I just kind of like that look. There's just something old-fashioned and slightly romantic about it to me. I don't know why. I've got some of these Papermate Ink Joys. I love these pens. Papermate Ink Joys Gel 0.7, so they've got a great tip. They write very smoothly, oh, so smoothly, but they dry really quick so you don't smudge things. So I like those. I found this marker in the dollar section at Target. This is a metallic kind of rosy gold marker. Really liking this. This is fun for kind of decorating the bullet journal. I've got a couple highlighters here that are actually erasable highlighters. No joke. And my friend brought these back for me from China. She lives in China, but she was doing some traveling, so I'm not sure if these are specifically Chinese or not. So you can see they are from the brand Pilot, but I've just never seen them. But they are legitimate erasable highlighters. Really cool. Oh, and then I also got I'm loving this one. This is by Tombow. It's the hard-tipped brush pen. So they have ones that have a longer tip and they're really flexible. They're more of a brush tip, and this one has just a little bit of bend at the very, very edge, but is for the most part a hard tip, and this does lettering really well. My lettering skills are absolute rubbish, but I'm practicing, and this is the pen that the video I was looking at recommended. This was only a few dollars on Amazon, so definitely worth it, but you have to order it online. And then my newest pen is this one from Swarovski. So it's a rose gold base with these really pretty crystals, and it's got kind of the same metal going up the inside here, and so that shines through the crystals. I just love this pen. That's everything. That's my bullet journal. You can see I'm getting very close to the end, so I'm down to my last few pages. The next bullet journal, I will do another video for that. And yeah, if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. I'd really appreciate that. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. I don't do a ton of bullet journal videos, but I do a ton of other kind of life and school related videos that might be of interest if this video was interesting to you. I will see you all in the next video. Thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye, guys.